What's up, internet racks, man? Y'all see the title of the video. I'm gonna tell y'all why I'm gonna give y'all real deal, true story time on why you don't want roommates, and it also correlates with why you need to save your money. Because if you could save your money, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, you having a roommate would be optional. It wouldn't be, you know, mandatory. You know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, as a grown adult woman, man, you need to be able to have the option. You don't need to be forced in certain situations, as in roommates, because you didn't know how to tighten up on your own finances, ladies and gentlemen. So I say all that to say this. I can give y'all two scenarios. This one scenario happened about 2 weeks ago, max, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, my roommate, she had some friends over or whatever, and they was getting effed up. Moral of the story, next morning, I wake up early in the morning, I come out here, and I smoke to my thing. Ladies and gentlemen, tell me how the door was unlocked. Like, visually, like, I could see that anybody that walked by could have walked in our apartment and did God knows what. So that's my first red flag. And it's what comes with me having a roommate. But I wouldn't have had a roommate, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, if I would have learned the basics of life, as in saving, as in emergency fund, as in have 6 to 8 months of your living expenses put up prior to moving in and signing a 12-month lease. So listen, second thing, everybody might not be as clean as you. You feel me? Everybody might not have that drive when it comes to making sure that your space in your home is night and night and tight. Making sure it's presentable and smells good when you walk in the door. You feel me? Third thing I'm gonna tell y'all, what you gotta deal with if you don't tighten up on your fucking finances. You will be forced to have roommates, and this is the shit you gotta deal with. And even just the past 48 hours, ladies and gentlemen, not even 48 hours, 24 hours. Because just last night I noticed how I had some food of mine, and I had some corn dogs, ladies and gentlemen. Just be rich. I had some corn dogs, and I had 4 left. And I know that because when I walked in the crib, prior to that, motherfuckers had a function. So my mindset was, I hope motherfuckers ain't, just disrespectful. They ain't just gonna touch shit that ain't theirs. My corn dogs was by the trash can, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not even a simple fact that it's food, and it's not what it is, ladies and gentlemen. It's the principle behind what I'm telling y'all. Like, it just don't make sense. And that's what I have to deal with, ladies and gentlemen, because I didn't learn the essentials of life, as in saving your money. You know what I'm saying? Before you sign this 12-month lease, make sure you got 6 to 12 months of your rent put up, just in case if you lose a job, you still have a place to stay and you're not stressing and pulling your hair out. You feel me? So if you don't do that, ladies and gentlemen, you might have to deal with the things I just stated to y'all. Woman, man, whoever your roommate is. You got some people, I give y'all more examples because I done had multiple roommates. You got some people who blast hella music. I had one partner. I had a job. I had to work in the morning. I was doing dishwashing. He would get off work at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. He's playing music all in the morning. He come in 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. He's playing music, ladies and gentlemen, and I have to go to work at 8. That friendship didn't last long. I'm just being real with you. I had another situation where I had a few roommates, and one of my roommates, we was literally like neighbors. We were sharing the same bathroom, but she was a woman. And I say all that to say this, not to get too descriptive, but one night she was being intimate with somebody else, and I had to hear that all night. Like, I had to really hear her getting pounded. You feel me? And yeah, it wasn't. I didn't want to hear all that. You know what I'm saying? She was too loud, and I'm just not with all that. But think about it, ladies and gentlemen. That's the things you have to deal with when you don't know how to save your money, when you don't know how to grow no money, when you don't know how to, maintain a job. You're going to have to put up with certain shit that a person who does know how to do those things doesn't have to put up with. You feel me? Like, you ain't going to have to put up with your roommate bringing over girls every night or company every night. You're not gonna deal with that because you done saved your money up and you got your own shit. You're not gonna have to deal with people playing loud ass music and shit. You know why? Because you got your own shit and you know how to grow your money and keep your money. So if anything, all else was to fail, you still got a roof over your head. What else? What else comes with this shit? And then, not even just to mention the roommate part, it's the fact that I don't like feeling awkward in somewhere that's supposed to be home. You know what I'm saying? And you shouldn't either, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like a lot of roommate situations it's very awkward because there may be times where you don't want to seem like, especially the opposite sexes, like when the opposite sexes are roommates, it can be awkward because you don't want people in your business, but then you don't want to make it seem like you interested neither, as in like one person comes home, you're in the room all day, but you ready to go eat, you ready to go cook something, but your roommate just got home and they're in the kitchen. Like, it just makes certain things awkward, you feel me? And if y'all not tight, it's like, it's either a friend, not even a friend, a stranger companionship versus folks who locked in and they, you know what I'm saying, they, you know, good morning and knocking on doors and stuff for each other, but it's not the same for everybody. Like, everybody not the same, you know. Some people might be a morning person. You might not want to be talked to in the morning. Everything goes back to saving. Because if you don't save, ladies and gentlemen, I'm 26, I turned 27 this year. I have never stayed at my own crib for a whole year. And I'm talking about an apartment where I got 800, 900, 1,000 square feet. I'm grinding for that. But as I speak right now, ladies and gentlemen, I have never had a season in my life where I had my own whole apartment other than a room and a fucking bathroom. Like, I've never had my own living room. Never. So I say all that to say this. Some of y'all 18, some of y'all 19, some of y'all older than me, and I had to learn later. But for my younger folks, I need you to tighten up now. That first $1,000 you save, it's nothing but $100 in 10 envelopes. Don't make it complicated. $200 in 5 envelopes. Don't make it complicated. And now, if all else fails, them your fundamentals. If you lose it all, go back to that. Okay, $100 in 10 envelopes, $200 in 5 envelopes. Whatever works for you, go back to the basics. You're not gonna open that money because you sealed it already and you don't wanna go backwards. There's a reason why you put the money in the envelope anyway. It don't even matter if you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Oh, why is he talking about envelope? That's how the fuck you gonna hold on to some of your wealth temporarily before you invest it or, you know, save it some more or do whatever you want to do with it. Buy you a car so you can get to a job, to and from a job quicker than catching a bus. There's so many things we could talk about, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm telling you, that's another thing too. Imagine having roommates, ladies and gentlemen, and then on top of that, you don't even have a vehicle. You're dealing with other stuff. You don't even have a vehicle to get to and from work. And how the prices are looking nowadays, ladies and gentlemen, even for a room, the prices, compare the prices. A room nowadays can cost you $1,000 versus some years ago, ladies and gentlemen, $1,000 can get you a whole apartment. Even now, you can still get some apartments around here for $1,000. $1,050, $1,150. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, especially 7, 8 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, a whole spot be a whole. You could rent you could rent a crib, a whole house, $750, $850, and all you gotta do is pay for the gas and electric and things like that. So price still what, 11, 12. Motherfuckers is paying that for a room and a bathroom, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want motherfuckers in that phase to where you're comfortable with paying for a room. And the same price you paying for a room, it's gonna be $100 to $200 more for your own spot, your own apartment, or even damn near mortgage for a crib. You know what I'm saying? Like, really make it make sense, ladies and gentlemen. Like, rent, man, this shit crazy. And it's just like, we know we gotta pay rent, cool. But it's like, why are you paying rent of $1,200, $1,000? You shouldn't. You have to deal with certain shit if you don't get your shit together. If you don't get your shit together, ladies and gentlemen, I am proof of you got to deal with hella bullshit dealing with roommates, gang. And it ain't no knock to them, but that's just the situation, gang. Motherfuckers ain't making in life or making enough financial money for real to be able to maintain their own environment. So then you gotta share the environment. You know what I'm saying? And 9 times out of 10, ladies and gentlemen, you're not gonna get the roommate that you think you're gonna get, gang. Like, that's just what it is, bro. Like, I don't care how cool they are, you still wish, deep down, unless you're a people person, but me personally, I want my own. Like, I enjoy just being by myself. You know what I'm saying? 97% of the time. Those 3%, I'm moving and grooving. I kick it for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I'm cool to be back in the crib for another 3 to 6 months. Like, everybody different though, and I just want y'all to learn from my mistakes and other people's mistakes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to tell y'all, save your money so you ain't gotta deal with hella stress. You ain't gotta deal with having fucked up roommates to be stealing, don't know how to clean. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just do so much red flag shit, but in a sense you gotta deal with it because this your neighbor in the same unit. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, in a sense it also forced you to speak to motherfuckers every day. And like I said, you might not be a person that want to talk every day. You might not want to talk for 3 or 4 days at a time. But then when you see somebody, you feel obligated to, hey, how you doing? Good morning. Even though you know it feel forced. Everything feel forced. You just want to be in your own space so you ain't got to be in situations where everything just feel forced and awkward. I understand. That's why you need to listen to the video and make sure you really stack that shit. And before you sign that 12-month lease, make sure your ass got 6 to 12 months. Preferably the 12 months, ladies and gentlemen. Just imagine that. You got 12 months of your living expense before you sign that lease. You could work your job for another 3, 4 months and be decent. Your rent paid, you got other bread put to the side, and you got another $3,000, $4,000 that been coming in for 3, 4 months. Y'all know it's too many ways to make money online. Come on, you can go live getting donations, you can stream getting donations. It's so much shit. But you're not gonna be able to even see all that, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't say no paper, because you're gonna be stuck in survival mode. You're not even gonna be seeing opportunities to make money. You know what I'm saying? If anything, you stressing on how the fuck somebody else doing it instead of trying to figure out a way for you to do it. Only way you stressing on trying to figure out a way for you to do it though, is cause your ass was bullshitting. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't get ahead. Get out of survival mode. Get out of survival mode. And saving money is getting your ass out of survival mode and making sure you can, be the boss, be the head honcho of your own space, ladies and gentlemen. Like, you need that, bro. You need that. So I don't care if that bitch is a box, cardboard box, and you pay $200 a month. Don't let nobody knock you for paying that $200 a month. You know why? Because you the motherfucking king or the queen over there at that $200 a month room or whatever the fuck it is. Be grateful, because a lot of motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, where I'm at is downtown. On a given night, you walk through, you see motherfuckers sleeping on the benches, ladies and gentlemen, like the bus benches. Like they done set up their environment to where this where I'm at. I ain't got nowhere else to go. I'm at the bus stop. Like literally laying on the ground. Laying on the park bench, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to talk y'all head off no more than I already did. Appreciate y'all time, ladies and gentlemen. Comment down below if y'all got some value from this, and also smash that like button if you got some value out of this video. I appreciate y'all time. I'm gone.